The Nuke-Alert Fallout Measurement Station is a simple, inexpensive fixture for continuous internet reporting of radioactive fallout intensity. The station weighs approximately 75 pounds. It is shipped as an easy-to-assemble kit so that the individual components can be carried onto the roof of the host facility one by one and assembled at the installation point on the roof. This video will guide you through the assembly process of the kit. You will need a few simple tools: a ratchet and socket set with standard sockets, an adjustable crescent type wrench, and flat and Phillips head screwdrivers. The central structural member of the station is an X-shaped cross member made of unistrut channel. This comes pre-assembled with folding arms that fold into place and lock down with unistrut channel nuts. Fold out the arms into the X pattern and push them toward the center of the X, so that the arms slide onto the inner unistrut locking nut as seen here. Don't tighten down the nuts yet. Everything needs to stay adjustable into the next steps. Next, take the 10-inch square bottom plate and remove the nuts and washers from the pre-installed 5/16" mounting bolts that are mounted in the plate with clips. Position the bottom plate under the unistrut X-frame so that the mounting bolts come up through the unistrut holes. Now take the washers and nuts that you just removed from the plate. Drop the washers over the bolts and hand thread the 4 nuts. Again, don't tighten anything just yet. Now we're going to take the 4 triangular filter cartridges and one by one push them into position as you see here. Since we have not tightened any of the X-frame or bottom plate nuts yet, the frame is limber and able to self-align with the triangles. This will automatically square up the frame and ensure that the cartridges will fit properly. Now it is time to tighten down the nuts on the X-frame. In the center of the frame there is a smaller X made up of pieces of unistrut. One is long and the other 2 are short. The nuts you need to tighten are in the longer piece, as you can see here. Tighten these nuts down with a ratchet fitted with a 9/16" socket. The nuts in the other axis come pre-tightened. Tighten the nuts on the bottom plate as you see here using a 1/2" socket. Once the frame has been squared and tightened, you will need to remove the triangular filter cartridges for the next step. With the filter cartridges removed, position all of the 4 round rooftop mounting pads in a rough square close to the ends of the X-frame. Now remove the top nut and round washer from the threaded rod on each pad. Take the 4 lengths of aluminum L-channel. These have 1/2" holes drilled on each end. Line the holes up with the threaded rod on the round mounting pads and slide the L-channel down over the rod until it nests with the square washer on the rod. Make up 2 parallel sides of L-channel this way and then place the last 2 lengths in the opposite axis to form a square. The perpendicular L-channel ends will overlap over the square washer with the other 2 pieces at the corners. Now place the X-frame on the mounting pads so that the threaded rod protrudes up through the last holes in each of the unistrut ends. You will have to adjust the skew of the L-channel square until it lines up perfectly with the X-frame. This will square up the L-channel frame and the mounting pads. Reinsert the 4 triangular filter cartridges in each section, being sure that the back edges of the cartridges line up with the edges of the L-channel frame. Check everything and adjust as needed to get the whole assembly as square and aligned as possible. Then drop the round washers over the threaded rod and lock them down with the 1/2" nuts using a crescent wrench. Now hook the retaining clips onto the underside of the L-channel frame and snap them over the cartridges as shown. Carefully align the holes in the clips with the holes in the cartridges so that you can drive the small Phillips head screws into the holes and lock the clips to the cartridges. There are 2 retaining clips per side. Now place the pipe flange over the center of the X-frame as shown and align the holes in the flange with the unistrut cone nuts beneath. Insert the flange bolts in the holes and gently start them in the nuts with your fingers. Once you are sure that the nuts are aligned properly, tighten down the bolts with a ratchet. The final step is to install the instrument housing tube. Although it is not shown in this video, you will be feeding a Cat5 cable up through the hole in the center of the station frame and flange. Simply plug the Ethernet cable into the female Ethernet jack inside the tube and set the pipe onto the flange. Tighten the 3 hose clamps at the base of the tube to lock it to the flange.